So good morning once again, brothers and sisters. With heart and sincerity, shall we recite Family Pledge number 5. Our family, the owner of Chanilguk, pledges to build the universal family, encompassing heaven and earth, which is God's ideal of creation, and perfect the world of freedom, peace, unity, and happiness by centering on true love. Thank you so much. Please take a seat. And I'd like to invite you to join me in prayer. Our most beloved Heavenly Parent, we know that your true love is always giving, and that you don't know how to ever give up on us. We are so grateful that we can know a deeper sense of your heart through our beloved true parents. We are grateful to live in this time in history. We are so blessed. We know this world is still an unhappy world, and all we can do is pray and long that your providence will move forward even more rapidly. If we can do a little bit more each day, we ourselves just feel so grateful. Please accept whatever we can do, whatever we can give to you, our Heavenly Parent. Let your wondrous Spirit be here to speak to each brother and sister here in this room, and also those participating from home. Our prayers go out to brothers and sisters who are unwell at this time, physically, spiritually, emotionally. Please strengthen them, give them great hope, just as true Father and true Mother continually encourage us to have hope in our lives and to recognize that everything is unfolding according to your plan. Please receive our prayers this day. We want to deeply care for each other as a community, as a family. I report this on behalf of all brothers and sisters here. Adieu. So I'd like to invite the Sunday school children to go to their Sunday school. So we have several announcements today. There's quite a number. As you recall, at our AGM recently, the community nominated Joanna Hartle to sort of spearhead the outreach program for us, and she's actually been extremely busy. And as you can see, things are sort of really happening here. There are various meetings going on, David Franklin's house on Tuesday, and then the Chanilguk Missionaries group meeting here on Friday. And then there's an international cultural evening as well. And you can see there is more taking place there. Workshops on Sunday the 18th, and then Rosemary Hoyt testimony again on Sunday as well. And there's an Iljung prayer next Wednesday evening, midnight to 5 a.m. with a 1 hour for sharing in the middle. So quite a lot of activity going on there. So, let's really pray for Joanna and her team as well. They really are doing their very best, I must say. Really delighted for them, actually. I'd like to invite Emiko, who would like to share an announcement with us. Is Emiko here?
Good morning, everybody. Just this morning, Joanna asked us to report a little bit about Friday evening study group. Already David Franklin's house, several brothers and sisters attended the group study, home study. It was very, very good, I heard. And last Friday evening, although I couldn't attend actually CRG brought 8 guests. New guests, including 2 new guests. Just they had a Divine Principle lecture. So although Joanna is very busy, but she organized that meeting. And 3 people, probably brothers and sisters, supported that meeting, group study. And of course, that was the first time a group study with missionaries. So we should a little bit, of course, think and organize well. But every Friday, actually, at the same time in LG, Lancaster Gate, they'll have a same study group. So if somebody interested and somebody really can support the day, even shortly, just please come. And actually, who attended was Kobayashi-san and also Bio and other brothers and sisters, really very helpful. And they made a really good atmosphere. And also, guests were so inspired to study. Even they are not told who we are. I said not even Reverend's name, but they shared quite a lot, I heard. But we must a little bit organize, and we need good support. If somebody really can come, interest, please contact Joanna and support this group. We'll want to continue. So just we wanted to mention somebody can support, even second gen, anybody can support this group study meeting. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Emiko. And I would encourage everybody also to pray for the Japanese missionaries who were sent here by True Mother as well. They're here with a purpose and a mission. So let's keep them in our prayers. Do take the time to also look at the pastors' update. There's a very good report there from Marshall about the WAIT team who were in Albania quite recently. And just so grateful they actually came back safe as well. But it's an excellent report. Before Julius comes to share his testimony, the band will play some music again, and also after that, Simon would like to come and also introduce Julius before his sermon. So would the band like to continue to lead us in some music?
So we'll just have two more songs, Shining Fatherland and 10,000 Reasons. And I'm quite excited about our guest speaker. It's been a very long time since I saw him last. I was actually in Slovakia for about 3.5 months at one point. So we became good friends. So please rise and let's build the atmosphere and prepare for our message today.
Hello. So, may God and true parents be with you. Amen. Let's do that again. May God and true parents be with you. Thank you. So, some of you have been to church before, that's great. In England. I just wanted to share a few words. I'm not giving the sermon today, but I just wanted to share a few words because I haven't been here for a while, and just share a couple of things briefly. Basically, I'm doing okay. I'm doing well. I was without Chieko for a couple of weeks. She went to Japan with Eddie and left me with the other four, and it was really good domestic training for me. And she's already commented on how I'm much more efficient and practical as we were leaving today. Instead of repeating to tell everyone to get in the car, I just got on and tidied up the kitchen rather than getting stressed out. So it's good to be apart sometimes, isn't it? It's basically that principle that we all believe in, that there is an origin and then there is a division and then there is a union. And we're all often at different stages in that process, but when we experience it in a very concentrated way, in a sense how I felt I experienced it, it reminded me of how important it is to go through that process. And of course, we experience that process, all of us as a community, that we come together at the start of the week or twice a month, and then we go apart. And then how much are we able to feel something special when we come back together? When my wife came back, it felt like a wave of peace crashing over me. I don't know if you and I feel like that when we see each other after the whole week and we meet here. Do you feel like that when you see each other? Anyway, that's something to reflect on. Of course, so maybe that's a sermon and I won't go into it. Just other thing I wanted to mention, I'm really inspired to see how lots of different people are starting home services, not just on the second Sunday of the month, but in the week. I know there's been a group of brothers meeting in one of the rooms here every Thursday, quietly, almost secretly, and studying prayer together over several weeks. And I've been hearing about how that's been going for them, and we heard about others that Emiko mentioned, and just want to encourage people to explore meeting with each other, centered on each other's common faith, in small ways, in any ways that feels appropriate to you. And the other thing, of course, I wanted to do was introduce Julius, because he's come from a foreign country, and I'm voting UKIP, so I thought. I got accused, I might vote UKIP. I got accused of being racist this week, twice. Anyway, he's someone I've worked with on many different projects since I joined this church. And we've worked together on lots of workshops. And it's always been a very fulfilling experience. We've always been able to teach each other a lot, in different ways, and it's because we have very different strengths. I assume I've taught him something, but he confirms that, good. And one thing, Julius comes from the communist East, and in that sense, is it has now emerged into a relatively democratic East. And so he's got sort of revolutionary tendencies. I grew up in the peaceful and quiet constitutional monarchic lands of England, with in the beautiful democracy that we have here. So we have very different perspectives in that sense. But one thing I can say about him, one of his strengths I like, he's a very good manager. He leads this program called DONE, which stands for Development of New Environments, and he comes up with lots of interesting names for things like that. And He's got a very developed mind and developed thinking, and he's been working in the youth area of our European movement for many years. And he often visits our country to meet a lot of older second gen who worked with him. They've worked on him as well. They've worked with him on projects and workshops over many, many years. And I can't say I'm in touch with everyone I've been on a workshop with, but something I sort of admire about him is that he really stays in touch with people, not just by phone or Facebook, but he actually spends a few quid on Ryanair and goes and meets them. And so that's nice. So anyway, I don't want to take up his time. So if you'd like to, you could just welcome him up now. And let's hear something from him. Oh, and that's your water.
Thank you. Good morning. So, Simon, the deal is around 12:20, okay? Yeah. I will be done. Yeah, I really mean it. It's nice to see you. I will come to that point later in my sermon, because I believe you are here for some reasons, and hopefully your reasons are kind of good reasons. So it's nice to see people who have good reasons to gather on Sunday. Good reasons referring maybe to just experiencing God together and so on. Yeah. Maybe more than that. Maybe you have good cooks here and then you have good lunch. So that helps too. This topic, what really matters, I offered Simon 3 different topics. I will not list them here. And I think this one was the least challenging. So Simon suggested this one. And I do believe it's something on your mind time to time. You just think like, okay, what is the most important for me? What is most important to do today? How should I decide now? Small decisions, big decisions, but we just try to figure out like what matters, and hoping that we can make good decisions. Life is always about making choices. Yeah? So I want to share with you my perspective. I want to share with you what helps me. I don't guarantee I'm right. Yeah? So in that sense, take it easy. If you can learn something, learn. If you cannot learn, then repent. I can repent as well. It is, in fact, this is very risky to invite me to give a speech. Yeah? That's the fact. I'm very unpredictable. But not because I lose control, but because I'm very straightforward and I can be very sharp. And some people don't enjoy that. However, Simon, he knows me and he decided to take that risk. And this morning when we were driving, he suggested his kids to pray for me. I suggested they better pray for you, that you will be all right after my talk. I'm not making fun of you, okay? Please don't misunderstand me. So I wanna share a few points, how I see it, what really matters to me. Yeah? I wanna share it as maybe some tips. And I just want to encourage you, please do think deeply, generally about your life, not just about these points. Just be deep people, yeah? Don't compromise the opportunity we are given to be deep people. Yeah? I only want to really shortly introduce myself. Some of you know me, some of you met me, some of you talk to me. Some of you, I think, I see for the first time today. So really short intro. So So I was born in a communist country of Czechoslovakia. I was studying at university in 1988-89 when so-called Velvet Revolution took place and our country changed. And I think from certain perspective it's much better now, and I'm really grateful for that. I'm married. I was blessed in 1995. I'm married since 2002. We have 2 children. My wife is originally from Bosnia, but grew up in Slovenia, even of European history. And there was one country upon a time, Yugoslavia, and then later there are a few countries. So she moved from one city to another, and then later on it was one country and another country. So she's Slovenian. We got 2 kids, daughter. Her very cute full-time activity is figure skating. We are very happy. I mean, we are also proud of her, but we are especially happy that she likes it and she enjoys it. And we have son. She's 9.5. Yeah, she'll be 10 this year. We have son who is 7. I can check now who remembers their names from this community. You remember what's the name of our daughter? Anyone? Correct. Marina, but in my language it's, like Robert is Robko or Robertko, Jude would be Judko. That's kind of funny because we don't have such a name. And Chris is Chrisko, and Mika, that would be probably Mikinka or something like that, Mikushka, because she already has Ka in her name. So Marinka, and son is Dagovin, so good boys. I graduated art history, however, I never worked in that area. I'm now working in ESGD. I'm part of that team since 2008. I'm supporting different educational activities of Second Gen since 2001. And recently, one of the main activities, or kind of one of the main occupations of mine is done, as Simon mentioned. I am from Slovakia. I live in Slovakia. We are a few families together. We decided some years ago, we had the dream, and then we decided to go for that, and now we live together, 8 families. We build house together, 8 houses together, We have big garden, so we are 8 families, 24 kids, sharing one big garden, and they are friends. Our kids are friends, we are friends. It's really nice, So that's really just a short overview from my life. I have some nice achievements which I'm really grateful to God, and I have done also some stupid things. No time for that if I want to finish by 12:20. So when we discussed with Simon that I will come, I suggested the date because I said it's the only weekend I have time, but actually I'm much deeper than that because May the 4th be with you, So I suggested May the 4th, So I'm here today. And I was preparing, I really was preparing. However, I finalized everything only this morning. So I have my notes. I will stick with the notes, but there are some more thoughts which are not in my notes, and then finally I I want to believe that also somehow God can help me to say what I'm supposed to say, what I was born to say today. What I'm reminding our children time to time, and that's the first point, what really matters, I ask them, now they know the answer, or they know what I want to hear. So I asked them first time, like, what do you think, what is the most important in life? And whether it is filial piety or what, but they said, we don't know, they tell us, yeah? So I told them, I think that the most important is that we love each other. Yeah? And time to time I double check, yeah? I ask them, so you remember what is the most important in life? And yeah, they remember. Yeah. Sometimes they don't want to say. They're like, we know, we already told you, why are you asking? I say, like, I want to hear it. You know, we already told you. I say, I just want to be sure that you remember that we love each other. Okay, good. Easy to say, right? But are we deep enough to understand what it really means to love each other? We do have concepts about what is love. And again, there is no time to discuss here love itself. But we do live in the world where the understanding of love is quite wrong. Yeah? The perception of what is love is quite distorted. This is our reality. Yeah? People saying, I love you, actually may not mean anything else than just, I want to have sex with you. Yeah? That's our reality. People saying, I love you, may just be determined by they want something to get, yeah? We are loving McDonald's, right, based on the advertisement. We are loving some other things. Many people say they love chocolate or whatever, and ice cream. So it is, I think, important in our life that we do think very seriously and deeply about what love is. So please do that, okay? I'm not going to explain too much about love today, but I do believe that, yes, it is somehow the most important thing in our life that we love each other. And we need to make effort to understand what it means to love each other, how to love each other. Another point I want to mention here today as something what really matters is friendship. I definitely can say in my life, friends play a very important role. Yeah? And whether this is heretic or not, I don't know, but I do feel that I'm friend with God. I want to see God as my friend. And I do want God to feel as well that I'm his friend. Yeah? And for me, friendship is something which should be present in the relationship of parents and children. Yeah? For me, this is a part of inclusion of love. Yeah? We don't talk about it in our lectures, like where is the friendship in inclusion of love. You remember that lecture? But I think friendship should be part of all the relationships, all the four realms of love. They should be kind of including friendship. Yeah? We should be friends as brothers and sisters. We should be friends with our kids, with our parents. Yeah? We should be friends with but my wife, my husband, yeah, with our spouses. So friendship is maybe I would call it like friendship is very, very specific realm of love, very specific expression of love, which we are able to give, to receive from one another. And if you haven't got friends in your life, real friend, then you are really missing out. So again, I just want to encourage you, please be very serious about building friendships. Don't ever think that friendships, they just kind of fall on you. Yeah? Friendships cannot happen without us taking initiative and being very committed and being willing to sacrifice. Yeah? Very similar to love. Friendships are, I believe, fully determined by love. Yeah? If there is no love, there is no friendship. Yeah? And in a sense, I would almost say, if there is no friendship, there is no love. Next point I want to mention is trust. It's very important in our life that we can be trusted. It's really important, yeah? And it's very important to learn to trust. I don't know what you would consider more difficult, to trust or to be trusted. There are certain assumptions, and especially in our movement, yeah, about who should be trusted. Yeah. And unfortunately, I'm very sorry to say, it doesn't always work that way, that people who have certain position, they should be trusted. I think we as human beings, we are born with the capacity to trust each other, and we are meant to trust each other. But we have our issues. As I say, like, we have our selfish pigs to fight. And as we are not succeeding, sometimes we do tend to misuse trust, which comes along with the position we have. Yeah. One of the first positions for each one of us who become parents, which is automatically given to us, and it is this position of parent, yeah? And we misuse the position of parent many times with our kids, yeah? Because we use more force than needed, yeah? We do not answer their questions properly. We trick them, yeah? We are blackmailing them. And so on and so on. So that's misuse of the position of the parent, yeah? Because we are not acting out of love. We are creating certain atmosphere of fear, maybe, that we get them to do what we want them to do. There is no guarantee that we are right, but we just require them to trust us. You get me? Yeah? So it is serious how to understand the issue of trust. I'm still learning, yeah. I'm really trying to be a good parent in a sense that I want to take my kids very seriously. And I want to answer their questions properly, of course at their level, yeah, but really I want to answer their questions. And I want them to feel they can trust me. And of course I'm making fun of them time to time, and this is kind of, I don't want to say testing them, I just want them to think, yeah. I just want them to realize, like, he's kidding, yeah? So sometimes Marinka, she gets really annoyed with me and she gives me such a look like, stop making fun of me! Really, I'm really like, she is a tough girl sometimes, 9 years old. And then I say, yeah, you're right, I'm making fun of you. Yeah? And then I explain why. And sometimes she can take it, sometimes she's like, that's not fair. Yeah, I wish that we as mankind, we can just trust each other. I wish that we can have such a culture. That we don't need to worry, like, what's the catch? Why you're so nice? Why you treat me? Maybe some of you were invited for a nice lunch or dinner with some of our leaders, and you realize later, actually, that was not kind of for granted. I wish that whenever we look back at our lives and we kind of see the relationships we went through, which might not be on now, just because we don't have time, because there is a distance, because, yeah, life just brought me here and brought him there. But like looking back, reflecting about it, we can still feel like, yeah, I do trust him doing his best. I do trust her doing her best. It's a good feeling, right, if you call your friend. With Simon, I think we can really say we are friends, yeah. We don't meet very often, but I think when we talk, we do not need to worry, okay, why he's calling me? What he's got? Is there some catch there? We just call each other because we want to know how we're doing, yeah? And I think it's really, really important that in our relationships, the trust will be just very, very natural. And we will not need to think too much about whether I can trust people who are part of my life or not. And then when it comes to our parents, I think it's one of the most painful things when you realize you cannot trust them. Yeah? Then when it comes to our kids, it feels very painful when you realize you cannot trust them. Yeah? So I'm very grateful. Of course, our kids are still small kids, but I'm really grateful that they tell us the truth. Yeah? Even if it's not easy for them, because they feel very challenged, because they didn't do something right. Yeah? And I'm grateful we have such a culture in our family that they do not fear to tell the truth. And so simply, I think we trust each other. Still, we have a long way to go. Yeah? There will be teenagers and so on and so on. They will realize more and more that I'm not so smart. And so on and so on. And when you work somewhere with someone, it's much more difficult to work with a person if you feel you cannot trust him, her, them. Yeah? And it's very difficult in our movement to face a reality of you cannot trust some people who are in charge of our movement. We can close our eyes and pretend like, no, that's not the case. And if that's your case and you really never experienced that, I'm happy for you. Yeah? If you just don't want to hear it because it feels difficult, then please get stronger. Yeah? Because sometimes what feels heavy and difficult is just because we are too weak. Yeah? And I think time to time in life we do so-called reality check. That's normal, yeah? And we need to do it also within our movement. And I'm involved in second-generation education for some years, and for me it's really painful to see how some of them were hurt, yeah, because of what they experienced as a culture of our movement. And I wish that we can commit to make a difference, and we can really feel that we can trust each other. Again, not going further because I want to cover still some more points. Another point which matters a lot, what really I believe matters super lot, is good education. Because if I think about the future of the road, that's my understanding. As I said at the beginning, this is all just my understanding. So I believe what can change the road is good education. And I think we should be thinking about it a little bit more regarding our daily life, regarding how I'm doing today, how I'm kind of acting today, how I'm talking today. So from there, and that's kind of connected area, I wanna make another point, and that's point about integrity. We do live in the culture, in the civilization where people are used to lie, and they take it very lightly. Yeah? I want to explain what I mean. Yeah? So people say, "Hi, so good to see you," but they don't really care. Yeah? For them, it's not good to see you. Yeah? They say, I'm so happy to see you. How have you been? So happy to see you. But inside, they don't care. And you know that. You feel that. So my suggestion is, stop doing that. Regardless of whether that's part of your culture. Yeah? Because I don't think that's about British culture, Slovak culture, Korean culture, Hungarian culture. I think it's about culture of being honest, being true, or just compromising the truth. Yeah? Maybe it's expected from you to say that, but don't do that. If you don't feel like you are happy to see someone, you can still greet them saying, "Hi." Okay? That's greeting. That's fully valuable greeting if you say "hi." You don't need to add anything else. Do you get me? Maybe some people, they need to feel good, so you want them to feel good because maybe you will benefit, so you just, "Oh, you look so good today." And again, you don't think so, and you don't really care. Yeah? But if you say that, there may be some gain. Yeah?
You know, to be polite in England is a virtue.
Yes, I learned that. But it doesn't mean it's right. I'm not here to challenge your culture, don't worry. Even if I am, yeah, challenging it. So I want to kind of maybe comment it as there is a difference with little kids. Yeah? So if your little child comes to you with some drawing and says like, "Look, that's elephant." You are, I'm 44, yeah? So I know that's not an elephant. That's even not similar to an elephant. Yeah? Will it help him? Will it help my little son who is struggling to draw and then finally he's making his drawing and I just tell him like, "Come on. What are you trying to tell me? That's not an elephant." Yeah, so I see the difference with little kids, with those very sensitive, immature beings who need a lot of encouragement. I'm okay. Yeah? I'm okay, and I wouldn't say we are lying. Yeah? Just like, "Whoa, really? That's nice." And I feel it's nice because he's making effort. He's struggling just to hold the pencil, but he's making effort and he's drawing something, and it looks like, I don't know what, but in his eyes it's elephant, and he's very happy to come to me and share with me and offer it to me, and he's hoping I will accept it, yeah? But with adults, yeah, I think there is potential that we can be different, yeah? That we don't need to say certain things, even though some adults, they are little kids, yeah? So, integrity, I think it's higher virtue than being polite, yeah? Regardless of the culture you come from. Yeah? We should not judge each other ever because of our background, because of the culture we were raised in, and so on and so on. But I think it is important for us, in order that we can trust each other, it is important for us to require from one another that we stick with our words, that we mean what we say. Yeah? I think that's just fair. That's about every culture, any culture. Yeah? Many times we act, speak, and we think out of fear. Yeah. So our lies are caused by the fear. And that's why we feel like, actually, I'm not lying, I am just trying to make best out of it. And this way, fear and lies are becoming omnipresent in our life, in our daily life. Yeah? Coming back to the first point of love and relating it to the lies. Yeah? So I give you another example. You hear it, I think also in your life here and there. Hopefully not from the people who are next to you, but you hear it here and there and you see it and hear it in movies. So let's say there is a guy and then he starts that relationship with that young lady, and then finally there is the statement coming which should make her very happy when he's saying, I was with many women in my life, but I never ever loved anybody like I love you. Yeah? And in a sense, that statement is completely true. Because you cannot ever love anybody the same way as you love somebody, yeah? Because we are very different. So I cannot, I will use kind of example of people who I'm connected with for many years and who are kind of similar age, yeah? So I cannot love Simon and Garros the same way, yeah? Just because they are different. Regardless of whether we work together or not and we are connected, I just don't love Simon the same way I love Garros. And it's not about my preference. You understand what I mean? So, in that statement that I never loved anyone as I love you, there is a truth. But in a sense, that statement itself has no really value. Yeah? Because yes, we want to know, we want to hear, we want to feel that somebody loves me as nobody else can love me. Yeah? But such a statement itself is a big lie, because it's completely diverting the focus of our life and understanding of what life is about and what love is about. If you love someone, I do believe that it includes your commitment to care for that person, to eventually sacrifice your life for that person. Yeah? And there might be situations where you need to maybe be very strong and tell the person off, because right in the very moment the person is doing something wrong. Yeah? So again, example with the kids. Little kids, they just live in a little bit different world, yeah? Their brain or capacity to understand is just different, yeah? So, if your little child is playing somewhere next to the water, yeah? You are watching that child, yeah? You are kind of watching that child, that it doesn't fall off, yeah? It doesn't fall in the water. If it's like 2 years old child or 3 years old child, and the water might be deep and kind of, so you are doing your best to protect your child to fall in that water, yeah? But then in one moment, for some reason, you were not attentive enough, yeah? And the child is far away from you, that you can reach him, reach her, but it's very close to the water. So there is danger of your child falling into the water. Would you consider whether it's polite, whether it's whatever, would you consider whether it's right to just shout and say, "Stop!" Yeah? You scare everybody around you because they are shocked, but you were just focused on that little boy there. Yeah? And you were shouting to lose your voice because you didn't want your son to fall off. Yeah? And sometimes we need to, maybe out of love, we need to shout and tell some people stop. We shouldn't be indifferent. We shouldn't kind of feel like it's not my business. Because in that sense, we are all inter-responsible. Yeah? We are meant to be independent, but we are interdependent. And we are meant to be responsible for each other's life. And sometimes I think our movement needs voice of members to shout and tell them, stop. Or tell them, no, I'm not going to do that. The reason why I'm talking about it, because I just really want to encourage all of us to take a little bit more of initiative and ownership, yeah? To take more responsibility that this movement is really reflecting the dream of true father, dream of true parents. Because if we are honest, we are not doing so well. And I think we should be honest. This is also what matters, another point, yeah? Please let us be honest. First, let's learn to be honest with ourselves, that I know I'm not hiding from my reality. But then let's learn to be able to trust each other to the point that we can be honest with each other. Honesty and sincerity is not lack of self-control, yeah? That you just say whatever you think, whatever you feel in the very moment. But you know you can be free to express what's in your heart, what you feel. And it will be taken, it will be really listened. You know, I was not planning to make some conclusions with listing all these points. I just wanted to share how it works for me, and maybe you could catch how I'm thinking behind all these lines. I'm actually following my time, I realize, so there is already 21, but here is just 12:18. So I will follow my time. Is it okay? Yeah, no. So I get 2-3 more minutes. So with all of that, yeah, another point I want to say, please be very attentive to what is happening around you. Really be fully attentive. Learn to read well from the life you are living. And we are living our lives together. So read well from your life, read well from life of your friends, or neighbors, however you want to call them. And then, based on what you understand, because you are reading well and you are deep, then act upon that in all your sincerity. Do you believe that this world is not all right? Probably yes. Do you believe that this world needs to be changed? Probably yes. Do you want to be part of that change? Do you want to contribute to that change? Probably yes, yeah? And I think this is how we are meant to live our lives. And this is, I think, how we are meant to run our movement all together. Yeah? We are fully responsible, all of us, for all what our movement has done wrong. And I'm really sorry and I'm ashamed many times to be part of this movement. I'm not stupid. I see many achievements and I'm proud of being part of this movement as well. I'm grateful to many people in this movement. But I'm also ashamed of many people, and especially some of the top leaders. So I'm coming to one of the final points. On Friday, when I arrived to London, I was on a train, and I saw this poster, or whatever you call it, advert for the movie Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I didn't see that movie. Yeah. So there is this kind of picture how Walter Mitty is jumping in the skies or something like that, yeah? And then there is title on the top of this advert. The title is something, sorry, I don't remember exactly, but it's like, warning, this movie may make you quit your job. So I was thinking, I'm very happy to pay some of our leaders' ticket to go and watch that movie. I would take that risk, yeah? Even if the money will be after all wasted, I'm just willing to try, because I still cannot give up true parents' dream, yeah? I cannot. Sometimes I force myself that I do, but I cannot, yeah? And I think God deserves that, true parents deserve that, and all the blessed families, they deserve better movement. So please find a way that you can stand up for what you believe. That when you see that it matters to you, then please just do something about it. Don't let somebody else to make decisions for you. Because they have higher position, you need to think what they think. You have your own voice, yeah? And it's important that your voices are heard. And I think it is important that we will emphasize this aspect of education within our movement, like you have your voice and be loud if something is wrong. Be loud if something is good. Don't be indifferent. And if it matters to you, then do something about it. And my last statement here is one advice for your life. Regardless of how old you are, regardless of all your experiences, please, I really want to humbly suggest it as one of the biggest realizations of my life and something that I'm trying to practice every day. Yeah? Do not seek recognition for all what you're doing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Julius, and thank you, AJ. Brilliant timing. So we want to pray together now, and want to bring our hearts together with each other and also together with God. And through that, we are, I think, discovering how to become a community that has a future together, that has longevity. So the band will play some music, and as always, just want to ask you to see if you could find somebody in this room to pray with now. They could be sitting next to you right now, or they might be on the other side of the room. But if you could just think about who you could pray together with now, and share about anything that you want the other person to pray for you, and ask the person you're praying with if there's anything you would like them to say to God on your behalf. Because when we can speak to God on behalf of each other, then we can bring the things that we talk about as the vertical love and the horizontal love that God created to come into unity. We can discover a divine quality to our friendship, to our relationship with one another. So just please take a moment to find someone to pray with now. And I know some of you are quicker at this than others. Mika's already got her arm around someone. That's great. Put your arm around them if they're not sure